Join us now for some fun and food with Mr. Price Home. There are many passionate cooks who have their own food blogs where they share their food knowledge and recipes with the whole wide world. But who is our best food blogger? Let's find out. In a sudden elimination heat, 12 food bloggers competed for a place in the semi-finals. They each received a 6th Sense Jet Chef microwave combination oven from Whirlpool, fabulous shopping vouchers from Rhodes Food and Mr. Price Home, and as inspiration, a copy of fellow blogger Sam Linsel's recipe book. The judges used a point-scoring system to determine the finalists. Our top 3. They are Christy Snell with her blog Food Monger, Janice Trepepi with her blog Janice Trepepi, and Anel Potgieter with her blog Life is a Zoo Biscuit. The ultimate winner will be part of a book deal, be a judge on the next season, enjoy a welcome breakaway, receive 25,000 rands worth of Whirlpool kitchen appliances, as well as 50,000 rand cash, improving their chances of earning big bucks from future advertisers. But first, our top 3 have to impress the judges with their blogs and cooking skills. In this heat of 3 challenges, the judges award specific points for each challenge. These will remain a secret until the ultimate Dinner Diva of 2012 will be announced next week.
Janice's blog is very professional. She's come a long way as a blogger, Jan. She's been going for a few years and she now has a new platform that is really, really top class. Jan has a vibrancy and a charisma about her that is second to none. It's Italian, it's in your face, it's happy food, it's sharing food.
Anel is very new to this blogging game. She started a few months ago after her disappointment of not being successful in another cooking competition that she entered. She seemed to drown her sorrows in zoo biscuits at the time. So for Anel, a disappointment in one thing has brought her to her food blog, which has brought her here to Dinner Divas. And I do think that she has the character. I think she's shown the resilience to come back from being beaten. So I don't think we've seen the last of Anel, regardless of the result of this competition.
The more I think about Christy, I think to myself, what a great asset to food, writing, documentary, whatever you can say about food. She thinks she should be blogging about food and cooking and creating, whereas actually she's more of a presenter of what good food is all about.
Last week, the bloggers had to cook identical meals from identical recipes. Today, they have to cook a 2-course meal for a special dinner party, using any of a wide supply of fine ingredients. And they can use ingredients they brought from home. And they have to use kitchen utensils, cookware, and the latest tableware from Mr. Price Home.
Ladies, welcome back to the Dinner Diva kitchen. This is the absolute final of 3 challenges. How are the nerves and the stress today?
Very hectic.
Hectic. As usual, our panel of foodies will score your efforts and your blogs. Today, you're cooking, styling, and presentation skills will be scored. But because this is about food blogging, your blogs will also be in the limelight. We are looking for the best food blogger. So your creativity, your authenticity, great ideas, and of course, the way you cook and blog will score you significant points. These points will remain a secret until the reveal show next week. Then, the blogger with the highest scores will be crowned the ultimate dinner diva of 2012. Want to know what your challenge is today? Today, using your choice of ingredients, you have to cook 2 courses, a starter and a main, or a main and a dessert. But there are some rules. The recipes have to be authentically yours and not from any other source or recipe book. Want to know how long you have?
Yes.
2 hours. Then you have to serve it to the judges here in the Dinner Diva kitchen. So cook your hearts out.
We're going to.
Well then, divas, your time starts now.
We are cooking with Mr. Price Home. You're watching Dinner Divas with Mr. Price Home.
The crazy creativity came out again. I love a challenge where I've got things that I can work with, things that I can think on my feet about, and that there's flavors that I can work with and create something really exciting.
There was just a plethora of incredible ingredients that there were so many choices that I didn't even know what to do. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. And then that's what kind of scared me at the same time, is there were so many ingredients that I just didn't know what to do with them, and I felt very unprepared.
I have to bear in mind what I have already cooked, I believe. If I'm going to showcase different styles, I've decided to cook a ravioli dish in a brodo, which is a kind of a broth.
Janice's broth consists of sautéed prawn shells, leeks, carrot, celery, tomato paste, wine, stock, mussels, clams, and fried pancetta.
I decided to make a sweet potato salad, but with Moroccan-infused flavors.
Anel makes hummus with chickpeas and then makes her own mayonnaise. Some of it she mixes with the hummus and some of it with grated blue cheese. These 2 dressings will accompany her starter salad.
With some pecan nuts, sliced pears, sliced apples, a bit of lettuce, and figs. And then a very slight vinaigrette olive oil infused with Moroccan flavors as well, that I dressed my salad leaves and my pecan nuts with, to cut through the mayonnaise, to cut through all the richness of those 2 other dressings.
My main course was king clip crumbed in ground almonds. I bring like a firm fish, and I think king clip is a lovely, wonderfully firm fish that's not offensive. It's got a subtle flavor, and I thought I could maybe do quite a bit with it.
Christy uses ground almonds mixed with breadcrumbs to form a crisp coating for her fish.
And on a bed of pea puree that had some mint in it and some cream. And then there was some crispy parma ham and some salsa verde with had asparagus in it.
Christy's salsa verde is a rustic blend of finely chopped garlic, green olives, fresh herbs, anchovies, olive oil, and lemon juice.
I'm going to do a fresh prawn ravioli with ricotta cheese.
For her ravioli, Janice prepares her signature pasta.
It's so simple. Flour, eggs, olive oil, a little bit of salt. You get to work the dough.
My main course was
kudu sirloin. I was just thinking of doing something different again. I decided to bring my own kudu. With the red wine reduced sauce and mushrooms, also infused with Moroccan flavors. Some braised fennel and baby onions. And a traditional potato and carrot crush. And I added a bit of dates on the top.
My pasta, I wanted it very thin. It's ravioli, so you have 2 layers of pasta, one on top of the other. So you don't want that to be thick. So I went to number 9 on the machine, which is dangerously thin.
Jan makes a prawn and ricotta filling for her ravioli. These she will poach just before serving them with her seafood broth. And now she starts preparing the crust for her rack of lamb.
I found that the quality of the lamb was outstanding. So yes, I needed to cook it in the correct way, but the meat stood on its own. It was beautiful. It was beautiful meat. So that acted in my favor.
I'm not sure how many things went right today. A lot went wrong for me. Firstly, my pastry seemed to have not rested long enough. When I tried to roll it out, it just stuck to the marble. It was a homemade pâté sucré, so it was like a short crust sweet pastry. I managed to just push it into the pastry casing because time was pressing. I baked it in the oven and it started to crack. The filling of my tart consisted of eggs, cream and granulated pulp and orange juice and lemon juice. I painted with chocolate to try and prevent the leaking. Dark chocolate has a strong flavour to it that could help with the sweetness of the tart. Also, it helps your pastry from getting soggy from the filling. So that's why I painted the dark chocolate. And then because it had cracks in it, the tart had sunk so much because it all oozed everywhere. It was just dismal. I just lost a lot of confidence after that when I saw that happen, and I think just that went worse. I suddenly thought, okay, you know, a creme brulee is very similar. It's an egg custard. This is the same thing. It just has granadilla and lemon and citrus flavors. So then I put that in there, and then I had leftover pastry, so I created a little biscuit, and then I had some chocolate that I drizzled on. So it was almost like a deconstruction of the existing tart that had flopped.
With time running out, the bloggers start plating for the judges. Time is up. Stop cooking. I hope those judges are ready to eat their hearts out.
I hope so too.
Shall we call them in?
Call them in.
Right.
Hello there.
Janice?
Hello.
Run us through it. I think I'm very excited because I see lots of interesting things.
We have ravioli in brodo filled with prawn meat and ricotta. The brodo is a shellfish and mussel and clam brodo. And this is crostini d'agnello, a rack of lamb, with a crust on it with parmesan mash and some greens.
The pasta's lovely and soft.
Thank
You can really taste that it's
I tried to get it as thin as I possibly could.
That is a spectacular broth. It is wonderful. I could actually just take all the other stuff out
And just eat the broth.
This is what I'm looking forward to.
For me, it's succulent. It's definitely very flavoursome, seasoned perfectly.
I think it's marvellous. It's absolutely marvellous.
Cara, Aubrey,
Good effort.
can we go take a look at Annelle's?
Absolutely.
I think a fabulous effort, Jan. Well done.
The star of the show, I felt, is the broth. It really is beautiful. It's deep kind of flavour that you want to taste, and I like the raviolis as well. So, and the lamb was really beautiful lamb, and I think that really makes a difference.
Hello, Annelle. How are you?
Fine and you?
What have you got for us?
I've taken the sweet potato and I've baked it and I put Moroccan flavors on it. I made it a mayonnaise, and I added some hummus to the mayonnaise, and I put that at the bottom, so it can just bring that through. And then I've chopped some pears and some apples, and a little bit of blue cheese just to give it a sting, and a few nuts just to give the crunchiness of the flavors.
Very beautifully presented. I love it on the black.
Little bursts, little bit of excitement, light, flavoursome, pretty. It speaks of a complete different you. It's fun. Actually, go on to the main event.
I thought I would like to do a bit of kudu. I did it with a red wine reduction with also a bit of cumin in it and with mushrooms. I've got a bit of braised fennel here in the oven with a bit of onion, carrot and potato mash together. And then I've added some dates on the top just to add a bit of sweetness to it.
All I've got is the sauce and some leather. And I think it's not your fault, it's the meat.
Yes.
Not good enough.
Okay.
There's no fat. I love the sauce. I think the sauce is that rich wine reduction. It's got those little mushrooms in, not the usual mushrooms.
The sauce is marvellous.
Thank you.
And, you know, the dish would work if you had a better piece of meat.
Thank you.
What a pity. Thank you very much. I think that was a good effort. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aubrey. Thank
Well
you.
done enough.
Thank you. Oh, ek is so bly dit is verby. Ek is baie bly dit is verby. Ek was verskriklik op my senuwees vanoggend geweest, maar ek is baie bly dit het verby gegaan en dit is nou klaar. En ek was meer op my senuwees van wat ek gedoen het vandag, het ek nog nooit gedoen nie. Dis die eerste keer in my lewe wat ek dit doen.
We are cooking with Mr. Price Home. You're watching Dinner Divas with Mr. Price Home.
Hi, Christy.
Christy, you look absolutely picture of calmness.
Yes, well, I can hold a good composure, you know.
Right, what have you got for us today?
For today as a main, I have a king clip that's been crumbed with some almonds and breadcrumbs on a bed of pea and mint puree, and then a bit of crispy parma ham pieces. I've got little bits of potato that have been crisped up, and then salsa verde, the sauce, but it's got also some asparagus in it and sugar snap peas.
That's left a very bitter taste in my mouth, unfortunately. I can't believe that something that looks almost so pretty can turn out to be quite so shocking.
Can I say that I love the almonds? I think that really picks up the king clip. I like the pea puree, it's lovely and fresh. The salsa verde, for me, I think is a little bit messy. It's very tart. What do you think?
Look, I think for me, Christy, I'm a bit disappointed. Okay, it just didn't work for me.
So perhaps that's for
I
you.
do like your photography and the way you photograph food, and I think that that's going to offer you a great opportunity in terms of how you drive your blog forward.
But I think what he's trying to say is that you should stick to styling and photography.
I don't think it is quite as bad as that.
So what do we have here?
Okay, well, I mean, this is going to be very interesting because, you know, if you hated this, I'm sure you're going to...
And I'm a sweet person, so
Because
I love...
my tart totally didn't work out. It was supposed to be a granadilla and citrus tart, but I think my pastry, because it didn't rest long enough, it cracked in the oven. The onions just fell.
I'm a big fan of dessert, so...
Christy, I think it tastes very nice.
It is sour,
No.
it is bitter,
It's definitely not bitter.
no-
I know that it's not
it
bitter.
has no character, it lacks imagination. It was obviously a flop which you tried to put together again, but that is a disaster.
It's not perfect, but the
Oh,
flavour
come
I
on,
get.
it's not
I
No.
said it on the end.
No, I
It's
like the
from
flavours. I like what she attempted to do there.
Well, it wasn't what I wanted. That's not what I'd planned,
That's what
and I had
happened.
to serve something, so I did the best that I could.
And we're very grateful for that.
I doubt that you're grateful.
Christy, your tart flopped, okay?
It certainly did.
So you saved it. You made a quick save, okay? That's what cooks do. That's what chefs do in kitchens. In top kitchens, they save things, okay? So you've made an attempt and you've done that.
So I don't think you should lose heart over this disappointment today. This is one meal where it hasn't worked for you. But I still think there's a world of opportunity for you.
All I can say is thank you very much for putting up a good show. Thank you.
I think at the end that he said that it was just whooped together last minute. Well, I already did that. I mentioned that. I mean, so his comments were just completely redundant and him just wanting to come across smarter than what he is. Little smart Alex. Whatever.
Okay, guys, that's the food done. And I don't really want to talk about the food anymore. I think we should talk about bloggers themselves.
Jan is your consummate Italian mama, and this is what I do get from her blog. She writes beautifully, it's always a story about her family, and she writes a story around the recipe that she's cooking that day. So if somebody's maybe not a good cook, they can go to this blog and get through that recipe very easily.
Fun. What do we make of Anel's blog?
The first time I visited Anel's blog, I got it immediately. I understood exactly who she was. I went to go read about Anel, and I just loved the way that she told her story, and immediately I understood the person who was writing this blog, so I made a very quick connection with her.
We've got a beautiful blogger here in the case of Christy. We have something totally different here. We have somebody who clearly enjoys food, maybe doesn't have as much talent in cooking the food, but she can certainly present it well, and she certainly has an eye for detail and style, and maybe her blog also reflects that. It's a beautiful blog, even though it's a slightly different format. We've got to make a decision.
Cara, have you said enough? Anything else to say?
I think we should score.
Wow, we've come to the end of 3 grueling challenges in the final heat of our search to find the best food blogger. And my, what a challenge it was today. Yes. As you know, these scores will remain a secret until next week, when we reveal which blogger has scored the highest points and will be crowned the ultimate dinner diva of 2012. In here, I have today's scores, but I cannot reveal anything until I have given you your next challenge.
What?
Waiting a whole week for the results.
I think Anel is one of those characters. She's capable of doing something even greater.
Janice is a very special lady because you know you're going to get this lovely Italian food.
We have Christy, who is so different. Foodmonger's blog is styled, it's very romantic, it's very pretty.
Dit is die laaste episode van Dinner Divas en die uitslae word vandag vir ons gegee en ek is so dankbaar dit is die einde. Ek is moeg, ek is gedaan. Maar ek is ook so opgewonde en my senuwees is heeltemal gedaan.
We formed a tight little group. We performed together under pressure.
Like, I just want it over with. You know, announce the winner and let me go home.
The judges scored the most points too.
You stand a chance to stay and dine like a diva for a 2-day breakaway at the fabulous Upper East Side Hotel in Cape Town. SMS the word hotel to 34022. Life cannot get more divalicious. Dinner Divas. Loved every moment with Mr. Price Home.